July 26th, the anniversary of the wedding of the century. Before the titles Black Panther and Storm, they were T'Challa and Aurora, lovers at a young age, separated by distance, united by fate. It was inevitable that he would pop the question, and one day he did.
This is something that we have never seen in Wakanda ever, because the Black Panther does not go down on one knee.
King T'Challa, of all people, went on one knee to propose to her. I'm sorry, he gave her the storybook dream proposal. That's every girl's dream, to have that type of experience. And that's not even his culture, but the fact that he did that for her, man, it makes a girl dream.
A union of such magnitude needed to be announced. Media blasted questions.
So I was watching the press conference and I was so hyped because this is it. We got Storm, one of the leaders of the X-Men, T'Challa, the king, the prince of Wakanda. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just such a beautiful thing. It's like a royal wedding, an African royal wedding. I know the ladies like the ring, but this is the ring of all rings.
They tried to get a headline from T'Challa about superhero registration, but he didn't give that to them. Aurora, however, she was quoted.
You know what, girl? I feel every word that you're saying. I would actually like to, have non-Black folks potentially hear this. Who's to say, who's actually hearing this outside of folks who this does resonate with? So I wish that, there could be a part 2 where she gets a little interview, with 60 Minutes or something post-wedding. But yes, sis, I hear what you're saying.
So let me tell you something. You know about the passport bros, Fatal J used to be one, So I went down to Rio, down in Brazil, trying to get my boogie on. It was so dope because I saw things that you will never see in your life. I saw this man, he was all rocky, huge. People, I saw Namor the Submariner. It was fantastic, no pun intended. It was marvelous, no pun intended. Man, let me tell you something about them women, though. Those women, if Storm would have seen that, she would have put a hurricane up in that place. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the real deal tropical storm hurricane. It would have been a Category 5.
Over in Manhattan, the Bachelorette overheard the delusional Princess Zonda, and Aurora wasn't going to let her continue.
The fact that the Bachelorette party had so much more drama than the Bachelor party is just so funny to me. Because, I read on a police report that she was charged for, a wind attack or something like that. And to be honest, that's crazy. I just want to know what was going on.
With everything out of the way, the only thing left to do was marry. It was the perfect day for a wedding. Not a cloud in the sky.
Storm, I see what you were doing. There's no rain on your wedding day. Okay, weather goddess, I see you. Okay, Hadario.
There was an expanse guest list, a mix of world leaders and superheroes.
So Mandela at the wedding makes perfect sense. Then we go to Fidel, Bush, and then BET. That's where it's filmed. I haven't watched BET since 106 and Park days.
Man, they had it on BET, and to be honest with you, it should have been on BET.
BET literally played the wedding of the century.
They called it the wedding of the century for a reason.
I remember as yesterday, I had to catch the 1 a.m. feed, the BET feed.
First of all, I wasn't watching it on BET. I was watching it on YouTube.
Yo, everybody was there. We had Fantastic Four, we had Iron Man, we had Captain America, we had She-Hulk, even the mutants were there, but nobody cared about them.
At least Wolverine is an Avenger, but there's too many X-Men. This is not the X-Mention. Come on.
Goliath was there too. Who would have known he would have died within a week of the wedding? Shout out to Monica Rambeau, Power Man. They were all there paying tribute to the man that I read about and watched and seen in museums, Isaiah Bradley.
When you see Isaiah, you make sure to treat him with respect or he will pick you up and throw you through a brick wall.
And what was that guy, that huge dude came along with a massive head? I think he's called the Watcher. That guy was cool.
We had Spider-Woman up in there. We had Sentry up in there. Sentry has a no-kill code. I don't know what they doing with that, but I saw these two.
Ms. Marvel. Wait a minute. That's Captain Marvel. No. Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers was there.
Ant-Man was there too. Ant-Man had to be there, right? He was there too. I bet he was there.
Juggernaut was there. I guess he was being a hero with the X-Men. That dude is on and off all the time. And then I also saw Namor, and Black Bolt. Namor being there is kind of, crazy because, him and T'Challa, they've always been having this crazy back and forth. But, like, hey, power of Black Love.
Iron Fist, probably more egregious than George W. Bush being in Wakanda. He must be the one who knocked out that one dude that fell. And he might have been the one that threw the shoe at Bush, too.
Elsewhere in the palace, T'Challa was doing his exercises.
There was reports of this bro working out on his wedding day. Like, guy, no days off? Already have the heart shape, no days off. Well, okay, I get it. You're the Black Panther, but I'd be checking out my wife.
You know how in Western society, the groom is not supposed to see the bride before taking the altar? Wakanda's kind of different. He had to meet her. He still hadn't shared the bombshell. To strive for Black Panther's hand means a trip to the spirit world. The ritual is to become wife or become consumed.
And T'Challa just waited for the wedding to tell about the ritual. Man, it's too late. Don't wait that long to tell, oh yeah, that ritual can be harmful. Tell them where they are going into before going into it.
A tough conversation to be interrupted by a present.
Professor X showed up and T'Challa got him to come there, especially at the time where all the X-Men were depowered. What a show of love and admiration and support. This Professor X is like a father figure.
You know what? I may not know the entire story behind Xavier and Storm's relationship, but I do know he's essentially a surrogate father. And it's very meaningful that him as a white person and essentially his surrogate daughter stepping up to a role that she was never really given the opportunity or endorsement of the world to do so. He is offering his support to his daughter, and she is brought to, this state of like being humbled.
This is so cool that he did this because, T'Challa, out of anybody, knows how it is to lose a father, and especially since Storm has lost her mother, her father, having T'Challa pull up Charles Xavier for Aurora, man, that's a show of love because this man is a father figure.
Although she may not need it, that is valuable to her. So yes, I can definitely see that how this moment means a lot to her.
Professor X, Charles Xavier's there? But you walking, what the
Fun and games for a moment took a break. The superhero civil war made its way to Wakanda. Iron Man and Captain America were invited as guests, not knowing the other was too. The two headstrong generals remained adamant, while an international audience grew impatient.
What was taking so long? Why were they stalling?
It took the King of Wakanda to bring two warring factions together over American policy and the time of civil war.
So I remember when I was watching the wedding, before the bride and groom came out, there was just a long series of commercials on Wakandan travel.
There was so much Wakanda commercials.
And remember, this is during the time where Wakanda was finally opening up its gates, opening up its borders. So it's understandable, but the amount of ads was kind of crazy, to be honest. Like, I just want to watch it,
I think the ceremony was delayed because Captain America and Iron Man were fighting.
As the people speculate, the intensity indoors raises with every word. There was no cooling off either hero. Before Black Panther was forced to exercise his strength, both Steve and Tony gracefully pardoned themselves from the ceremony.
How disrespectful to the King of Wakanda.
It went down at this wedding. You had Cap, you had Iron Man. They was about to go at it for the registration of superheroes. Now, I have a side. And I might tell you this side now. I'm not telling you anything.
Cap's always been on the right side of history, man. Cap and Tony are both there. I don't see any scratches on anybody, especially T'Challa. So the fight went down. He won it.
It was good that they both left.
Thankfully, the event would resume. The stage had been set. The guests were sat. All the guests. Friends and family.
Yo, did you guys check out the seating chart? Besides Juggernaut being there, they actually had the paternal and maternal grandmother of Storm seated right next to each other. Oh my God, this is actually making me emotional. These are her last two surviving members. They're sitting right there. Awesome.
The Black Panther stage was like the way it should be. It felt like a Black Panther stage. I'd say one of these two Black Panther on each side would be Storm and the other one would be T'Challa. I can defend two Black Panthers, but that third one, just why?
I need more Panthers. I need more things like this because that's a beautiful and a freaking cool intro to a wedding. Let's be honest here.
And here came the groom.
Don't even get me started on T'Challa's entrance. So there was like this huge panther that just comes walking in. He opens his mouth, and guess who pops out? T'Challa, the groom. And when I say this entrance was something else, it was something else.
One royal entrance deserves another.
Did you see how she flew down in her wedding dress? She did it justice.
When she took off that dress, wow, there was way more jewelry than clothes.
White cloak, looking fantastic, beautiful. And then the white cloak, because she has wind power, just flies off of her, and she's standing there looking just as gorgeous and beautiful as a goddess should be. Libertash, I feel you, my man Nightcrawler. I feel you.
I love the dress. Storm is just, rocking it like the queen she is. The one thing that I wish I could see more of is men supporting their woman, expressing body positivity and enjoying showcasing their beauty to the world.
So T'Challa's mother, right? Like she just holds their hand and then she tells them something to get prepared for, and then their eyes just go white. Like it looked like T'Challa also inherited powers of the Storm Goddess or what? Is that a thing?
So when they were at the altar, their eyes turned white, and I was expecting to see vows and hear T'Challa to confess his love for Storm, but I learned they were in the spirit world, which of course is superhero nonsense. So we didn't actually get to hear any vows, but I'm sure T'Challa said the right things.
Off to the spirit world we go. The couple searched far and wide for the conductor of the ritual, but this beast is not one you find. It is the one that finds you. Here it is. Storm comes face to face in the spirit world with the White Panther. Remember, no fear. Storm is sniffed. Step 1 complete. Storm is licked. Step 2 complete. And as she stands there in loincloth next to T'Challa in loincloth, she awaits what feels like an eternity for the judgment. And she passed. And she passed the test.
So they stood still for like 5 seconds, and then they were married. He rips off his mask, gives her that newlywed kiss. Drums are playing, and damn, Storm is looking thick too.
You see that kiss? Now, I know you noticed something like I noticed something. Look at T'Challa's hands. His hands is just a little bit too high. Now, this is Storm. You know what I mean? And you have your hands up that high, sir? Bro, you about to get a divorce, man. You playing too kind. You a nice guy. Don't be a nice guy.
It's like basic respect, I guess.
You're a political leader. The cameras are watching. You have to be respectable. I understand. But as for me,
Okay, first of all, wedding, 10 out of 10, whatever, But my thing is, who did they get to perform at the post-wedding ceremony? Like, I'm seeing, someone who might look like Maxwell, which, hearing him singing, "You're the highest of the high," that would be like an amazing send-off for that wedding ceremony. But I don't know if that was the case. I'm describing my dream wedding.
Not gonna lie, I was a little bit jealous because I've had a thing for Storm for years, but what are you gonna do? T'Challa got her.
Many tales would come out of this party. Some eagle-eyed viewers caught on to the body-swapping spirit in attendance.
And this wasn't on the broadcast, but there are photos on the internet of Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto. So something mystical was happening.
So apparently this guy called Kashan, he's the son of Uncle Sion, like Uncle to T'Challa. Bro just passed out, and I read on the internet he was like possessed by some spirit ghost thing. Hey, it's Wakandan mysticism and magic, and Doctor Strange was there, so I don't know, but like that sounded nuts.
Awesome wedding, man. I heard it was an open bar.
Way too much superheroes and liquor for that party. Of course Spider-Man was going to cause a food fight.
Spider-Man was disrespecting the hell out of his tribe. And not gonna lie, even calling the dude man-ape makes me feel some kind of way.
Everybody sat at the right table. You had Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, the Fantastic Four, but for whatever reason, Spider-Man ended up sitting beside Man-Ape and started a fight. Americans, am I right?
Americans.
He is such an American.
Poppycock Americans.
The wedding of the century led to the gift hall of the century.
That gift list must have gone crazy. You know what I'm saying? Their whole room had to be littered with stuff.
My take on the gifts is they're kind of cast in the shadow because there isn't really anything that you can give to a king and queen that they don't already have access to.
You know that they tried to show out. Iron Man tried to ball on T'Challa, like poorly so. Like T'Challa is way richer than you, my guy.
all the presents are just sort of like on the ground, spilled over and in the shadows, as if they are inconsequential, but maybe they are. Like, so I'm a little on the fence. I'm like, okay, do you express gratitude for it, or you just like throw it, on the floor?
Only one last thing to do to complete the event. Let's open up these packages. The gifts were all scanned by Wakandan security, even the one from Dr. Doom. So T'Challa thought, let's open this one up.
Man, if I had the chance on my honeymoon, I could have went anywhere. Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad. They went to Lasveria.
A honeymoon to Lightveria is not a gift.
Why would anybody believe Dr. Doom? Of course it's a trap. The clue is in his name. It's Dr. Doom. Why would you believe him?
The couple would live happily ever after with no drama at all or annulments. Congratulations to T'Challa and Aurora, Black Panther and Storm on this wedding anniversary, and to everyone celebrating T'Choro anniversary. Special thanks to Reginald, Hudlin, and Scot Eaton. Find everyone else in the description.